Hi everyone, Abby here. Welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Apple Watch Series 11 smartwatch. And I've had this for months now, and I'm going to be giving you guys my honest opinion on it, sharing the good and the bad I've noticed about this watch. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly and so you can help the channel grow. Now I have this in the color rose gold, and it comes with the light blush sport band. I have the Apple Watch Series 11 42mm GPS Bluetooth version here. You can pick it up in an LTE version for additional cost if you would like as well. And the current price as of recording for this smartwatch here is $549.99 Canadian and $399.99 American. All right guys, now I'm gonna go into the major spec highlights about this smartwatch so you can get an idea of what it can do. So the Apple Watch Series 11 here has a battery life up to 24 hours. It has built-in GPS. Use this to track a variety of indoor and outdoor activities like running, walking, dance, yoga, weightlifting, and more. It can also track your daily metrics like your steps, your calories burned, your time standing. It also does heart rate monitoring. It's also compatible with hundreds of different apps. You can also do calling on this smartwatch, and you can reply to notifications like text messages. And I've gone ahead and listed a bunch more spec highlights on screen for you guys. All right guys, so this is what it looks like on me. And I do have a 7-inch wrist. Now I've gone ahead and put all the wrist sizes this can fit on screen for you, and I am wearing the small medium sized band here. It does come in a medium large version as well. And if you want to see what that one looks like on me, you can check out my Apple Watch SE 3 video to see that. But basically, I'm at the last hole here. I could wear either or, but I prefer the medium large myself actually. Now, this smartwatch here is quite big. Due to the rectangular design, it does take up a lot of room on my wrist. And the band is quite thick as well. So if you're looking for something small and compact, this is not that. But I will say, despite the size of the smartwatch, it is very lightweight. And the band is also very smooth against my skin. It's not irritating at all. I do find it very comfortable to wear. Now when it comes to changing the bands with the Apple Watch Series 11 here, you just press in here and then you slide. Very easy, and then you just slide it back in until it clicks and you're done.
And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it.
All right guys, so when it comes to the display here, you can see it is bright, it is bold, there are punchy colors, it's contrasting, and the Apple Watch Series 11 is one of Apple's brightest display they've had on Apple Watch yet. So that's something I have found beneficial. It does make it, pretty easy to read. And something I really like about this smartwatch is that the ambient light sensor in here works very well. It's also pretty readable in the dark, and as you guys see, it did, adjust there. Right now you guys could see there is a bit of glare here with this display. Now this is what it looks like outside. So at certain angles, you can see that there's a good amount of glare here in the sunlight. And the brighter the sunlight, the harder it is to read. But if you do have the brightness pumped up high enough, I do find it readable outdoors. So when it comes to activity tracking on this smartwatch, it does a pretty good job, and you can track a large variety of activities. These ones are my most used. So I did just show you guys the ones that I primarily do, my shortcut list, but these are all of the other ones here. And you can go ahead and you can add any of them to your main screen, so you don't have to search through everything every time. And I do like that it does track a lot of activities. And those are all of the workouts here. When you are tracking activity, you're gonna see the time you've been in the workout, your calories burned, your heart rate, the distance that you have walked if you're doing a walk. And then you see this screen as well, which is showing you the amount of time you've been moving, your exercise minutes, the hours standing. You can see a bit more information here like pace, your elevation, your heart rate zones more broken down. You can see your music here. So if you are playing music as you're working out, it's pretty handy that you can just swipe and, you know, pause, play, skip the song, things like that. And it doesn't have built-in maps. So you're going to see a little lined route, but you're not going to see your actual route until you sync this to your phone afterward. I do find it quite limiting myself that you don't really see that much information. Some of you out there, this may not bother you. Some of you, it may. It really depends on if you want to see a lot of information while you are working out. The Apple Watch Series 11 42mm here has a battery life up to 24 hours or up to 36 hours on low power mode. Now, with my usage doing things like GPS walks, runs, using daily alarms, timers, using voice assistant, and more, I've gotten on average 18 hours of battery life with this smartwatch. I have to charge a smartwatch every single day. Only time I was able to get it to push to a second day is when I literally didn't touch the watch and I just looked at the time. I didn't, you know, do any smart notifications, didn't do any calls, didn't do any workouts for the day. But I don't think that's how most of us are gonna use our smartwatch. You're probably gonna use it, you know, track activities, look at notifications, use your watch. So the battery life here is not great for me. Having to charge my smartwatch every single day, sometimes even twice a day, is just a hassle. Now, if you are used to charging your smartwatch every day, some of you might not think it's a big deal. That's fantastic. If it doesn't bother you, then this smartwatch can be a great option for you. But if battery life is a big issue for you, then I would definitely recommend, you know, checking out another brand like Garmin or Fitbit if you are looking for longer battery life. It also does have a magnetic charger, and it does feature fast charging capability. Another thing about the Apple Watch here, something that sets it apart from, you know, a lot of other brands here, is that it's compatible with like over 100 apps. I have a couple here. You guys can see there's weather, there's navigation, there's music, stocks, a bunch of different apps here. And it really gives you an integrated phone-like experience because you can see a majority of the apps on your iPhone on your Apple Watch. So that can be really helpful for you, and you can even control the camera on your phone. So you guys can see, you know, looking at the phone, it controls that. So it's pretty cool here. So yeah, I think that's the biggest advantage of the Apple Watch here, is that there's just so much apps and it's just very seamless connection between your iPhone, between your MacBook, between any Apple devices. It's just very easy connection. All right, guys, so now I'm going to talk about women's health. So for my men out there, or anyone else who doesn't want to see this, you can go ahead and use my timestamps in the description below and skip to the next section where I'm going to be talking about sleep tracking. So this is what the women's health, you know, cycle tracking looks like on the Apple Watch here. With this, you can kind of go through different days and log symptoms. If you are on your period, it lights up red, just as you guys could see here. You can track your flow intensity, so it's gonna be like light, medium, heavy. You can also track your daily symptoms, you know, with some things that you're feeling. And you can track if you are spotting or not. If you do go onto the phone, you can see a period prediction, which is going to predict your next menstrual cycle. You could just see the information kind of laid out there as well. Now, when it comes to Apple, I am not the biggest fan of their women's health. I find that everything looks very basic, kind of bland. The only time you really see color is when you're on your period and you see the red there, so all of their other integrated apps just look so much better. You know, it does all the basics that you really need. The only thing I find it's missing is it's not tracking your daily mood. If you are looking to just track your cycle to see when it is, track your flow intensity, basic symptoms, it could be helpful for you. All right, guys, when it comes to sleep tracking, when you wake up in the morning, you can see all this information here. You don't even have to sync it to your phone, which I think is nice. So you can see your sleep score out of 100, a sleep message here as well. And it gives you a bit more information about these different colors. One of them is your duration, your bedtime, if there's any interruptions. In addition to that, you can see a little graph of your sleep. And you can see a breakdown of the sleep stages here. So there's time awake, REM sleep, core sleep, or light sleep, and your deep sleep here, and a graph corresponding to that. And you can see it broken down another way as well. The time I fell asleep, the time I woke up, and you can see the bedtime and if you have any alarms set. So the sleep tracking here, I do think it's off. It said I slept excellent last night, but I only had around 6 hours of sleep, which is a bit low for me. I think I had a good sleep. I wouldn't say it was excellent. When it comes to the sleep stages here, I do think that they are off. I did get up a couple of times, said I was awake for 9 minutes, and there was a lot of time here when I was just reading. I didn't catch any of that. Because it's an Apple Watch, you do have an option to download a bunch of different apps. You have an option to try out other sleep apps that may, work better. Do think it needs improvement, but I do like the way that the information is presented. It's very clean, vibrant, bright colors, and it is very easy to read and navigate through. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna go over the basics of how to use this smartwatch here. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is turn on the display, which you can do by pressing either of the buttons here. You can also go ahead and tap the display, or if you have the watch on your wrist, you can go ahead and turn it towards your face and the screen will light up. So once you have the watch turned on, you can swipe down to see your notifications. So here you'll see maybe missed text messages, app notifications. There's a challenge that they're letting me know about. And you guys have a reminder there to take vitamins. And you can just click into them and see a bigger view where you can kind of see a bit more about it. Press this button here to go back. Now when I go ahead and I swipe up, you're going to see some last used apps and the date, time, and whatever else you put here. You can edit this little screen and add things here, add any app of your choosing really. Now, if I go ahead and hold this button, it opens up Siri, open cycle tracking. So you can go ahead and get it to open an app for you, or start an outdoor run workout. You can get it to start a workout for you as well, and click this button, it's gonna go back. Now if I go ahead and press the button down here, it opens up a little shortcut menu where you can do quick things like turning on and off your Wi-Fi, changing the brightness. If you hold this button, you're gonna open up your medical alert information, just emergency information here. So if you have a medical ID, you can put in, any type of conditions you have, like if you have diabetes or if you have an allergy or anything you want to put there, you can put in your name, your blood type, contact information as well. And if you want to, you can set this up to if you're in need, just call 911 or, whatever emergency contact that you have set up here. This button is a back button. Now going into the app page here, you could see all of your apps as well. If you want to change the list view, you can do that for a cleaner layout. If you do want to start a workout, you can ask Siri to do it, or you're going to have to go into the apps here and find the workout app and, choose the workout of your choosing. Once you're ready, you just click on it, start it. And if you do want to, view your metrics or view your sleep or view weather, you kind of just have to go into the app for each of them and just click on it to find it. Now, if you do want to change the watch faces, you're just going to hold this and choose the watch faces. So that's the basics of how to use this smartwatch here. It is pretty straightforward. If you are a previous Apple user, they haven't changed that much in terms of the operation. If you're coming from Android or something else, it might be a bit of a learning curve, but overall it's pretty straightforward. And the thing I like about it the most is that if you don't know how to find something, you can just ask Siri and most of the time Siri can do, that for you. Now I'm going to show you guys some watch faces on here. So this one of my personal faves, and one of my favorite things about Apple is that they just have like really nice looking watch faces. Show you that there's a bunch of colors that you can choose. Now, you guys can set up watch faces using your own photos. Example of that one for me is this one. Chose my own background, my own text, added some information. You guys can see here is a heart rate, here is a battery, and they do have a lot of digital and analog ones. My only caveat with Apple is that they don't really have that much data that you're seeing at a glance. Even their data rich ones, you mostly just see symbols of things, and then you have to click into them to see more information. That's something that I don't love. But yeah, there's a lot of watch face options here. All right, guys, so I have noticed some cons about this smartwatch here. Now, the first con for me is the battery life. As I already mentioned, the battery life is just very poor. Definitely Apple's biggest weakness in my opinion. It just can't last even a day. I have to charge it every single day. And honestly, for me, it's just very annoying, especially when I'm used to using other smartwatches that can last like at least 5 days to a week or more on a single charge. Another con for me is that with the operation, you have to really jump into a variety of different apps to see your information. If I want to see some metrics, I gotta go here. If I want to see, some of my health metrics, I have to go here, and then I have to swipe through. And if I want to see other things, I got to go ahead and I got to jump into another app. Like if I want to look at my heart rate, I got to jump over here and look at that. So it's just like a lot of kind of going back and forth into different apps to see different things. So it can be a bit time consuming to, view all your metrics and to view data. That's something I notice as someone who uses a lot of Android watches. Typically, you could just swipe through and view things quickly, but with Apple, you can't do that. Another con for me is it's big. This is a 42mm smartwatch here. However, it is rectangular and it honestly takes up my entire wrist size. So I find it too big. I would prefer if it was smaller, more compact, and I would prefer if it had a thinner band as well, because the whole thing is just very large on my wrist. Another con for me is the fact that Apple uses aluminum here. Kind of a double-edged sword. Aluminum is a great metal because it's lightweight, so you're going to be cutting weight there, but it's not as durable as stainless steel, which some other smartwatches use. So you just got to be careful in terms of getting scratches and nicks, because it is a possibility with the watch here. Another con for me is that the display shows fingerprints very easily. Now, this is not a huge deal by any means, but it's just something I find really annoying. Another con for me, it's not true rose gold. Now, if you guys can see my ring here, which is rose gold. The Apple color is more of like rose gold mixed with a champagne color. It definitely looks a little bit lighter. It's not really, true rose gold. So I find that just makes it a little bit hard to match with accessories like rings and bracelets. Now that might not be a concern to you at all, but for me it's something I do find to be a con. All right guys, so the final con for me would be the call quality with this Apple Watch. Now if you're taking calls with this and you're just casually talking to a friend or whoever, it's fine. But if you're using this for business calls, honestly, I wouldn't really trust it unless you're in a very quiet environment with nobody around you, because it does pick up a lot of background noise and your voice can sound a little bit distorted sometimes from what I've heard from people I've been talking to. All right guys, so considering the price, the quality, the color, the performance, the functionality, the battery life, the ease of use, and everything like that, I'd go ahead and give the Apple Watch Series 11 here an 8.7 out of 10. I definitely do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to pick up the new Apple Watch Series 11 here, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. And if there's anything I missed today that you want to know, go ahead and drop a comment below. I do read all the comments and I will definitely get back to you, and I love hearing from you guys. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.